It's Halloween. And if you're like me, and I know I am, you've probably spent many a sleepless night wondering about, pondering where your record collection goes when you
die.
The Turk comes for us all. And so does this video. Hi, I'm Bob, and you, my friends, are back in United States of Analog. How you doing out there? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. It is the Halloween season, and that means lots of fun-size candy, and I love fun-size candy. I'm going to go with the Kit Kat and the Reese's Cup. Those are my two favorites. What are yours? Put them in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe. All right, it really helps the channel. Support the channel in any way that you can. Yeah, I didn't mean to get morbid on you in that opening segment, you know.
I hope you weren't too scared.
You know, the season has got me thinking a little bit, and I like to think a lot. Got me thinking about what's going to happen to my record collection when I go to that big cutout bin in the sky. Now, I hope that's not soon, but it still has me wondering because, like you, I've spent a lot of time and a lot of money curating what I consider to be a pretty good collection. I've got some really nice pieces, some stuff that I really had to search for, that I had to pay top dollar for. I've got a lot of hot trash too, you know, a lot of used records that really didn't live up to their promise, but in general, I'm pretty happy about my collection. And I'm wondering, you know, ultimately what's going to happen. And the reason I wonder that is because when I go to the record store, you know, when I'm going through the bins, every once in a while, I'll kind of look down and I'll see that U-Haul box with the little sign on it that says $1. And I think all those records are $1 each. And at one time, they must have been part of someone's beloved collection. And now it's just fodder. It's just waste. The store owner would probably give you the whole box for $1 if you asked him. That's just the honest truth about this vinyl medium. It means a lot to us in this day and time, but in the future, we just don't know what's gonna become of it. And I'm wondering if maybe we shouldn't have even spent the time and the money in the first place. I get so sad thinking about it. Don't get sad. Don't get sad like me. Enjoy your collection for the time being, but maybe it's something that you should put into your will or talk to your family about or talk to your record store owner about. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Now, there's a part of me that wishes that, you know, when I depart, or maybe I never do. Maybe this is just a big simulation and you know, the game just keeps going on. Maybe I'm the only real thing and you're just a figment of my imagination. I don't know. And I don't even smoke marijuana, so I don't even know I think that way. But I think the dream scenario is that the Smithsonian Institute comes in and takes your collection away and they curate it and they put it in a museum along with your picture, and it tells everybody about the kind of person that you were. Well, chances are your record collection isn't going to go into a museum. So let's discuss some of the fates that your record collection might face when you're gone. Wow, I hope this isn't a bummer. Now, when I was in the advertising business, we used to talk about reality and perception. The perception of your collection, at least to yourself, is that this is some kind of heirloom, right? Something that somebody's going to want down the road. But the reality is your heirs see this as boxes and boxes of junk that they're going to have to move out of the house, at the very least by Saturday. They're not going to waste any time. Does that upset you a little bit? Does it upset you that what you consider to be rare and extremely valuable may be later categorized as clutter, heavy lifting, a nuisance? Could be. We just don't know unless you make arrangements ahead of time. To be honest with you, I don't think anyone in my family, including my wife, my 3 boys, I don't think that they want the responsibility. I don't really think that's how they consume music, through vinyl, like I do. But, maybe. It's one thing to be handed something and it becomes a burden. Whereas if you discover it, It has more importance, more value. You know, your stuff theoretically could end up in the attic or a basement only to be, discovered by a grandchild or a great-grandchild or something, and that discovery might create some interest, as opposed to where if you just pass it down to someone, they're probably going to take it down to the record dealer and sell it by the pound. And that record dealer is going to cherry pick it. He's going to get the good Clash albums and the British first press of Abbey Road, and he's going to pick the good stuff out, and then the rest of the stuff is going to go in that U-Haul, which is on the floor of the record store, and it's going to have that little sign taped on with duct tape that says $1. Is there anything worse than a dollar record? Now your family, let's say, they could take your records down to the local Goodwill, donate the records, and who knows what the fate of those records will be. They could take it to a half-price books and get an offer on the records, and it's going to be a super low-ball offer, and I think it's actually going to be less than if they priced it out by the pound. It's pretty much going to be under $50 no matter how many records you bring them. And rest assured, that dude behind the counter is going to cherry pick them too. I would. Or your family could put your record collection up on Craigslist if that's still around, or Facebook Marketplace. But then, your family's got to deal with a bunch of randos who are going to cut them down to a half price or a quarter of what they were listed for. And, do you really want your family members to be dealing with randos? I don't like randos. Maybe they know someone, maybe a friend of yours who is into vinyl, and they give him some of your collection. That's not too bad, I guess, as long as that friend doesn't end up hanging around the house more than you would want them to. I think you know what I'm talking about. I think you smell what the rock is cooking. Is that the expression? Your entire collection could be thrown into a dumpster for a 12-year-old kid who's looking for Playboys to find a few weeks later. Maybe that's not such a bad fate for your collection. At least it might fall into friendly hands. Hopefully he washed those hands. Now, the worst fate for your collection that I can possibly think of is if, you departed in not so great terms with your spouse, and they took the pleasure day after day of smashing one of your records against the kitchen counter until it shatters, to just kind of get, a little payback. I'm sure that's been done. You always hear about the widow that sells the husband's Corvette for like a nickel, right? Well, there's lots of ways to skin that cat. So make sure you depart the planet on pretty good terms. You know what? At the end of the day, your records, if treated properly, are going to outlive you. They're going to have a life beyond your life. And while that's kind of a sad situation to think about, it's also kind of romantic to think that you will live on somehow, hopefully, through your collection. And every record that you bought, every record that you took care of and cleaned, and sometimes bought a fresh copy of after you accidentally, ruined your first copy. All those things, it's kind of romantic to think that lives on and it's going to become part of your legacy. It really does define you. Your record collection defines you. I think if I looked at someone's record collection, I would know exactly the kind of person that they were. So since your records can't outlive you, there is a chance that your memory will go on. Most of us are not going to end up in some kind of museum, and ultimately everyone's collection will eventually become someone's found treasure. To various degrees. Like I said, it could be in a $1 box, it could be from a donation. And speaking of donations, maybe giving your collection to a library might be a good idea. It would have to be a big library that would be interested in it, but it scares me to think about what they're going to do and the fate of those records when people are playing them on substandard equipment, and there's going to be all kinds of catalog labels on these beautiful covers that we adore. So that's kind of scary to think about, but it could be kind of a nice thing to do. So yeah, vinyl is probably the only physical format that can keep living after you stop. Maybe CDs too, but we don't know. CDs haven't been around as long as vinyl. Maybe there's some day in the future where they all fog up and stop playing due to global warming. All right, am I getting political? I'm just saying, things happen. All a record needs is a needle and someone with taste to play it. And hopefully your record collection will end up in the hands of someone with good musical taste. And I hope it's appreciated. So keep collecting, keep curating, keep spending, dare I say, and live for today. Carpe diem. Keep building your collection and keep watching my videos. In fact, the geniuses at YouTube have already selected another video for you to watch. First, go down there and subscribe to this channel because I know you enjoyed this video and I think you're going to enjoy this one. It's going to pop up right here any second. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time in United States of Analog. Cheers.